I think of the things I want in life more and more as I age. So please let me know in the comments if your goals and desires are becoming more clear to you as you age. But you can also let me know if you were like me a little while back, where I actually didn't have clear goals, clear desires, or clear direction on how I wanted my third chapter to be. There is so much push to have purpose in life. And I'm not arguing that we don't need purpose. There's some evidence that does say that having a purpose can lead in longevity, and having direction, feeling purposeful, can lead to a well-lived life. But there's also pressure that the society puts on us, or we put on ourselves, to have purpose. That's a whole other video. Are we a little bit like shoving toxic purposefulness down our throats? Are we not somebody if we are not purposeful? Because there's this pressure to have a purpose that could put somebody in a freeze state where we can't carve out our goals or even recognize them or even sit down and decipher what we really want. Some of us have even put what we want on the back burner, or we see what we want through other people's eyes. In this video, let me tell you what I want to share. I want to share a new process that I've set up for myself about being intentional on goals, or maybe even just this whole reset thing that you see here on YouTube. I want to put the midlife spin on it. I'm trying to make this easy for me. Maybe it'll be interesting to you. And it's 5 steps, one goal sheet, and it's going to take about 15 minutes. Not the video, maybe the process. And if you're tuned into yourself, it's going to take a short amount of time because you might have a little more inkling of the kind of things you want to accomplish, say over a month, a monthly reset type of thing. And if you are in tune with yourself, you already have an inkling of the direction that you want to go. Okay, and if you're not, don't worry, stay with me. We can talk about that in the end of the video too, because I have also been that person and I found a way to get out of that. Oh gosh, and if you've not met me before, hey there, my name is Tanya, and I come on the internet here talking about making space for menopause. And how I like to talk about menopause, when I say making space, it's making space for a changing mindset, for our changing bodies. Yeah, maybe some changing nutrition, but a lot of change happens both inside and outside, and we need to make space for menopause to have a really good third chapter. So if you want to have conversations like this, I would be thrilled if you followed along and chatted with me here. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm the girl who does have trouble meeting goals. I have competing interests. I want to do all the things, but I also am still trying to shake off years of people pleasing and also perfectionistic thinking. I think it takes a lot of time and experience for some of us to distill down what we want in life and how we want to lead our third chapter. And I'm hoping this process is going to make things easier for me and in turn, maybe make things easier for you. I wish I did this when I was in perimenopause. I realized that growing my emotional side is really important to leading a fulfilling third chapter. And trust me, it's not without some bumps along the way. All right, I've used many methods for trying to reach goals, and many different goals I've had in my life too, whether it was weight loss or reaching certain personal records at the gym, or even just accomplishing certifications and learning goals when I was working in a clinical practice. In fact, that was part of clinical practice. We had to have very distinct learning goals. And so those things to me didn't seem so difficult. But the personal goals, we get in our way so many times of reaching personal goals. I'm sure you can understand that. And if you can't, well, tell me your secret. In fact, I've talked about one of my methods that I used for years. It's the word of the year. Let me know if you've heard of the word of the year. I'll actually link my video below. It's not my concept, but it's a fun one. And I started way back in 2016 when my mom died. It's just definitely a simple way to make a compass for yourself that can guide you 365 days of the year. Gosh, I'm repetitive tonight because now I'm finding that I want more. As I'm on this emotional growth path, I want more. And I don't feel like my physical health is going to be enhanced unless I am nurturing my emotional health too, and my spiritual health. So here is my method. I'm going to share that with you. I'm also going to share how it goes through the months as I apply this to myself. And it's super easy. At least I think it is. And this method brings in that concept of self-compassion, being kind to yourself, because I have learned that criticizing myself rarely gets me anywhere. And I'm sure you know that. Okay, let's talk about the first step. The first step that I'm going to be doing to set a monthly intention. And I'm going to ask myself, how do I want to feel this month? How do I want to feel? I'm going into November, so I'm already starting to think about how I want to feel. And I'm even going to do, I guess, a step 1A. Why do I want to feel this way? Why is this important to me? And I'm going to write it in the sheet. This concept of like setting your goals along how you want to feel, it's not my invention. I can't think of a better word right now. It belongs to, as far as I know, Danielle Laporte. She is the author of The Desire Map. Let me know if you've read that. So yes, step one is a two-parter. How do you want to feel and why do you want to feel that way? I think I structure things like this because I've started to ask why a lot. This has been integral to me growing more in my self-awareness, to observing why I do the things that I do. We can't make changes in our life until we pull back and see what we're doing and then ask, why are we doing that? What am I getting out of doing this thing? So why do I want to feel the way I'm going to pick for the month? I also found that setting goals like organize my kitchen or go to the gym 3 times a week, yeah, that could work. But after you really think about why you choose these goals, like why do you choose to organize your kitchen? Maybe you want to feel less stressed in the morning. Maybe you're sick of clutter because it makes you anxious. Or maybe you want to go to the gym because, yes, you want to lose weight. Yes, you want to build muscle, whatever the reasons are. But you know, these goals, these things that you put in the calendar, and then life inevitably gets in the way. We forget why we made these goals in the first place, or we actually haven't. We just haven't found our way back to them. Okay, the second step that I'm going to do in this goal setting process is start to brainstorm all of the things that I'm going to do to reach that feeling. Let's pick a feeling as an example. Say I want to feel quiet for the month of November. It's actually a good one because I know December is going to be super busy for me. So say I want to feel quiet. Okay, I've decided I want to feel quiet. Why is that? Maybe I feel like I have a lot of anxiety or my nervous system is stressed out. That's a really important body system to nurture in menopause. So maybe I want to feel quiet. Maybe I know that I need a lot of recharge time and I haven't been honoring that. What are the things that I'm going to do to help me feel quiet or calm? I'm going to list those out. So even if I have a bunch of things, I'm going to brainstorm them. I'm going to put whatever comes to mind, and then I'm going to sit back with a cup of tea and maybe pick 1 or 2 actions that can help me feel quiet or calm. And reading seems to be like a good one. So step 3 is before I start the next month, I'm going to ask myself, what went well? So what went well with the actions that I chose to support feeling quiet or calm that month? And maybe I will say, carving out some reading time every Sunday afternoon for 1 or 2 hours and telling people in my family to leave me alone went really well. Maybe that's how I'll reflect on it. Maybe even what went well is the fact that I recognized that I wasn't honoring a commitment to myself and I was letting other things get in the way of the desired time I put down to read a book. This is good information for us. We learn about ourselves this way. Okay, step 4 is going to be maybe what felt like a setback. So when we look at the fact that I did not give myself the time to be quiet, what got in my way? Why is that a setback? Or is it a setback? Maybe I need to reframe the way I'm wording this. But this can give me time to take a realistic look at where maybe I derailed myself. Like maybe I put too lofty an action out there and it was not attainable. Maybe I gave myself some unrealistic expectations. Going through this process is good information as I get to know myself on a deeper level. And my 5th step is going to be, what can I do differently next month? What would I do differently so that I can meet the feeling, maybe not to put too many actions on myself, maybe not feel like I have too many setbacks. And I think we always want to ask ourselves, how could I have done better? And I think that becomes part of a lot of meaningful conversations with relationships. How can I do better? And there's nothing wrong with wanting to better ourselves. I think I'm just feeling that the success failure language was playing a lot on my mind. Like we can either feel very black and white, I succeeded or I didn't. And that can be a problem with goal setting or intention setting. I can get down on myself with these polarizing opposite thoughts and kind of feel defeated. So I thought that using the word, what can I do differently rather than better, would give me more pause to think of different shifts I can do in my actions or behaviors to get to where I want to go. So yeah, different is the word for me. I'm going to see if I can carve out some rocks, some times that are just going to be anchored like a big heavy rock in my schedule to go through the first two questions of what I want to feel the following month, but also answer the last three questions of how things went the previous month. I'm really excited about this because it doesn't feel massive. It doesn't feel like a big old bullet journal. It's just a sheet and me and a cup of tea.
Sometimes people need help getting things started. Grab my goal setting guide for midlife in the comments below. I will help you figure out what your core values are, the things that you really value in life. You can narrow it down so that you can walk away feeling like you know exactly what you want at this part in your life. And if your life doesn't feel balanced, well, I've got a life balance wheel in there for you. You can fill that out and you can work on the area that you think needs help right now. So grab the guide.
I'm going to do my best not to let things sway me, things that aren't as important as this. Now, of course, if there is something that goes on with family or health, we got to take care of those things. But prioritizing our own time for ourselves, I think this is an amazing way to make space for menopause. Putting myself on the top of the list and prioritizing how I feel about my life and the things around me, that's pretty important. And if you're my age, I'm 58 as I'm making this video. I'm moving towards 59. Isn't it time? Let me know in the comments if you want to join me. Maybe I'll get the sheet out in public in my next video or on my podcast, but I want to know if this interested you and if you think it's kind of intriguing. Me, I do, and I think I'm going to try it. So thanks for sitting with me here today, and I'll see you in the next video.